Okay, it is 11 a.m. We will get started. So, thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Sarah Warsey, and I am the marketing manager here at Sentia. So, before we get started, just a friendly reminder that all attendees are automatically muted. If you do have any questions, please feel free to enter them into the chat window, and we will have a dedicated Q&A session at the end of the session. So today's session centers around the growing importance of data governance and compliance as more companies adapt to AI tools and technologies. So after a brief overview of our speaker and of Sentia, our Microsoft AI and practice lead, Victor Yosevich, will take you through the foundations of data governance in the age of AI, building trust around AI and data security, why Microsoft's Purview is a game changer in this area, practical strategies and overall benefits, and of course, how Sentia can help in this process. So, a very quick overview of Victor. Victor, if you can move back up one slide, please. Thank you.
Sorry.
No, no problem. So, Victor brings 20 years of IT experience to the table, having worked with a diverse group of industries and firms across North America and the Caribbean. His professional portfolio includes collaborations with reputable organizations like Microsoft, of course, RBC, Aviva Canada, and many more. His expertise spans across Microsoft Security's portfolio, communications, Microsoft Office 365, Azure, and of course, AI. So thank you, Victor, for joining us and taking us through this session today. So for those on the call who may not be familiar with Sentia, here's a quick overview of our capabilities. So we are a Canadian-based managed IT solutions provider with a strong national and international presence, and we have been in operation for 16 plus years and having been headquartered in Richmond Hill, Ontario. We have a team of skilled experts that work with a variety of different size businesses across a number of different industries. Our extensive expertise stretches across a wide range of solutions, including AI, of course, business continuity and disaster recovery, cybersecurity and network security, hybrid cloud, data management, and much more. What sets us apart is our unique ability to conceptualize, design, implement, and manage our full suite of solutions while acting as an extension of your team and putting the core values of our customer needs first. Next slide, please. And again, here is a quick snapshot of our global footprint. As you can see, we span across a number of countries internationally with 200 plus customers in 22 different countries. So with that said, before I hand it over to Victor, we are going to kick off the session with a quick poll. So just give me one moment here as we load this poll. Okay, so if you can see that, please take part in the poll and hit done as soon as you can. Okay. Okay, thank you. I'm seeing the answer as 1 billion. That's a great answer. The actual answer is 14 million. So a staggering number nonetheless. And it just kind of goes to show you what the implications are if you don't have a proper, robust compliance strategy in place. So with that said, I'd like to hand it over to Victor. Victor, over to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sarah. And thanks everyone for joining today. So just a quick overview. We're going to go into what generative AI is really about and why it's causing such a drastic change in today's society. So really it's revolutionizing productivity by saving everyone time. AI Copilot can save you at a minimum of 1 hour per day, totaling around 5 hours in a week. And that really boosts efficiency and work satisfaction. And this is why our employees are flocking to even bringing their own AI solution. In the AI era, though, that the strong data governance is crucial. Weak governance can amplify issues like bias, privacy violations, security risks, and we really need robust guardrails to ensure that AI is used responsibly and safely, and more importantly, ethically. And this is why Microsoft provides a tool set that can help your organization with these challenges. And of course, that tool is Purview. So Microsoft Purview combines separate tools into one suite. We provide unparalleled visibility and security for your data. It offers a foundation of trust and control needed in the age of AI, as well as leading unified platforms in integrated information protection across data governance, risk management, compliance across your entire data estate. Business users are keen to adopt Microsoft 365 Copilot to automate their tasks and gain insights more efficiently. And in order for us really to succeed with AI, organizations have to focus on core data governance principles that include ensuring that data quality, security, discoverability, and lifecycle management is all high quality, well documented, which is the data that fuels AI. While controlling the data across the estate and retention prevention misuse, AI projects face unique governance challenges, including data bias, heightened privacy risks, and of course, crucial importance of data lineage. Proper governance requires vetting and diversification across the data estate, ensuring that consent and anonymization, as well as tracing data sources and transformations, is at hand. With Microsoft Purview, it offers a comprehensive governance toolkit. It includes data mapping for AI, data governance for AI, business glossary and cataloging for consistency across data languages, and of course, the data lifecycle, access management, and retention policies and access controls. By establishing a solid quality of knowledge for the data, we can, at that point, assess and create a safe environment for AI. Data governance is not just a blocker, but it's an enabler, turning raw data into trusted, reusable assets. And of course, adhering to compliance in AI in this era of AI is very crucial. Regulations like PHIPAA and PII impose strict rules on the data usage. New AI-specific frameworks ensure ethical AI usage. Organizations face challenges in navigating the requirements and obtaining the consent, as well as obtaining the proper function of AI in this new state of regulation and so forth. Gartner predicts that regulatory bans on AI systems by 2027 due to non-compliance is going to be one of the peak and core focuses of all regulation bodies. With that said, AI-specific compliance challenges include obtaining consent for user customer data, communicating AI involvement, ownership, accountability for AI-generated data, and preventing rights and violations, as well as discriminatory outcomes. Strong governance is, of course, essential to embed ethical considerations in AI design and use. And with Microsoft Purview offers a comprehensive compliance solution, including data classification, sensitivity labeling, data loss prevention, e-discovery, audit, and additional controls. Of course, these controls help manage sensitive information, ensuring that regulatory compliance prevents data leakage and support legal investigations. Microsoft Purview provides a comprehensive platform to manage regulatory risk, classify and protect sensitive data, and offer continuous compliance insight. This enables confident AI involvement while meeting obligations and avoiding costly compliance issues. So to build trust in AI, we need to have a multifaceted security approach, applying data security fundamentals, monitor and test for vulnerabilities, protect the data pipeline, and of course, update incident response plans for AI scenarios, controlling access rigorously, and use least privilege models. So at this time, I'm going to ask everyone to, again, take another poll and take a vote. And Once you've hit your selection, please hit done.
Thank you, Victor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've just launched the second poll. And we can view the results in the chat. Yeah, there's a whole variety of answers here. Victor, are you able to view them in the chat as well?
No, I don't currently see them.
Okay, so the answer with the highest number of votes is lack of resources.
Yep, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think that's every company's posture right now is lack of resources and time. Hence, people are flocking to AI. All right. So just to mention, Purview not only works in Office 365 and across your data estates, it actually extends onto data security posture in AI workloads, as well as Azure OpenAI, Azure Machine Learning, third-party AI platforms, and monitors AI models, activity, tracks databases, applying classifications and DLP policies to ensure comprehensive data governance. In April 2024, Microsoft really previewed and re-imaged the new Purview portal, combining data governance and compliance. The new interface really offers a dashboard for data estate health, discovery, risk, and really facilitating collaboration. AI-enabled interactions include natural language search and recommendations. So Copilot is integrated in this new platform as well. And of course, it's built for an AI era needs. It needs sophistication yet simplicity. So with that being said, I'm going to dive into a bit more of screenshots as well as some demos of what you can expect and see really Purview in action. So we start with the dashboard. The data governance overview dashboard shows us really what our company is doing as well as what our health is. So I'm going to take you into a scenario. So in this scenario, we play out Microsoft Purview data security products. So to understand your data risks, you have to know the data you have. So let's start with a user who's authoring a highly confidential document, which of course contains details about a top secret project. That project, Obsidian, is a policy is within the organization. We have set that this has a highly confidential classification. As such, users who only have that classification can view it. You'll see a tooltip at the top that says your organization automatically applied a label. This is using the, of course, Purview DLP automatic labeling. And it was done to enforce the controls in line with auto labeling. Similarly, here's another view of auto labeling being applied to a PDF related to the confidential project. Again, Project Obsidian. Microsoft Purview natively supports data classification and labeling in PDFs. As well, you can use the same solution across all workloads within Office. But of course, we want to keep a really close relationship and integration with all your documents. So we've discovered our data and information protection, and we've applied protection capabilities like labeling. But we need to know where the data doesn't, or know that the data doesn't move itself. People move data. So how are we interacting with documents related to Project Obsidian? And what kind of user context can we gain insights into understanding this user intent? With Purview here, we can see that that data is being moved across various vectors. Here we have an anonymous user who has been detected as a potential high impact user, meaning their damage potential is great if they abuse or misuse the access. So we can see the mapped out area of where this document is and how it's being facilitated. As well, we can see the risk activity of the user has been taken over time related. In this case, for example, the accused highly confidential files in SharePoint online at a rate of usually 500 above average compares to at least 60 days of historical activity, which comes back and seems a little fishy. And by leveraging sequence detection, we're able to really correlate the data points and the relative activities related to the user identified as well as the user intent, looking at the sequences to really coordinate the activities and really see what the malicious intent is, whether it's downloading files, renaming those files, printing the files, deleting the files, or clearly if they're trying to cover their tracks. And we also extend to cover non-Microsoft sources. So in this example, we can see that we've disabled the Amazon Web Access S3 bucket login, and we cover third-party apps outside of course, our Microsoft estate, which includes anything from Azure SQL, Power BI, Google Drive, Box, AWS Cloud. We've pretty much got a bucket which covers 80% to 90% of the third-party apps out there that's in production. As a result, of course, we do see that the system will automatically raise the user risk scenario, increase to elevate the score based on the excessive exfiltration activities that were detected. And of course, that will also flag it into the system and be able to bring it up to our compliance team or whoever is actively monitoring this activity. And of course, at these risk levels, we're able to customize based on the organization's risk appetite. When customizing, organizations can select the activities and sequences in the policies that will impact the adaptive protection. We can increase the user risk level as well as what's the risk appetite, with of course the risk appetite per the number of occurrences for the organization. For example, the elevated insider user risk could be triggered by the most crucial indicators. In this policy, for example, such as removing sensitivity labeling or removing files from SharePoint itself, downloading from the Office 365 location, and of course, we consider that as exfiltrate and then delete, for example, as well as archive or data exfiltration. Once the elevated insider risk score has been increased and the risk activities are selected, the organization will then choose the threshold occurrence of such that triggers. So for this example, we have three in the evaluation period or more. And of course, once the risk level are configured, you can create a DLP policy or add conditions to existing DLP policies. This means that you can quickly and simply build on all the investments in the DLP that we've already created previously, whether it's during the build of the product or accumulated over the years. And you'll be able to automatically reduce your risk and of course the risk for users like the ones we just saw. The ideal use case here is to take any policy that may be noisy and add to the adaptive condition to them so that you can focus on addressing the most critical risks while saving valuable time and resources in your organization. Here is how to add conditions in the advanced DLP rule set. So you can add conditions under the user level for adaptive protection. And once we do that, of course, you select one of the multiple elevated risk levels. So on screen, you can see elevated risk, moderate risk, or minor. And just like that, we made an existing static policy adaptive. For this example, of course, you can see that the policy will block clipboard, USB, network sharing, printing, and really for any users who are at that risk level, you selected. So thinking back, the risky users who just detected as someone with an elevated risk level would be outright blocked from taking these actions. Even though they may have had access before, that adaptive risk level can now flag them and prevent any harm. So we've heard a lot about the customers and really how they help make DLP less noisy, focus on the most important areas. And of course, we look at this across the data estate for anyone from pharma customers mentioned to PHIPAA to PII to any organization really that has departments which are highly confidential and highly active and using various projects which may be um, which may be in risk of data leakage or oversharing, as I like to say. All right. So similar to how we add adaptive protection and as a conditional access in DLP, you can also create conditional access policies or edit existing ones to make adaptive and configuration of the insider risk conditions. And in conditional access policy settings, we can actually select the user risk level with the policy to enforce actions like blocking access and requiring terms of uses. So here we see the standard insider risk condition, and we're imposing conditions to ensure that once we have an elevated control, we can then set to install an adaptive policy. And for the data lifecycle management, you'll see new options for adaptive protection to automatically add elevated risk users retention policies to retain any content that they may try and delete. And you can add this capabilities by toggling on and off in the experience. So now that we have our dynamic policies in place and you can see how that works in action, the user is only able to really interact with the data in ways that's allowed to them. And really enforcing that they can only use ways to do their core job function. And what's more, if you see the user has since submitted some resignation, meaning you're able to stop the user from in their tracks from preventing them from stealing your data or taking it with them to a competitor or so forth, that's where the power is really starting to come through in Purview. Finally, as we discussed earlier, it's important to be able to quickly investigate incidents. Not only does Purview provide a rich investigative capabilities, the DLP and IRM insight flow into Defender as well. So you can now see exfiltration activities in context of security incidents. And as an example here, you not only see the DLP alerts coming through, but you see the multi-staged attack or multi-staged event that is giving us the insights to what the case is going on. In this case, for example, the attacker stole Megan Bowen's credentials, was impersonating to be Megan, and carrying out exfiltration activities. So whether the attacker is an internal employee or an external risk, it doesn't matter. A bad actor is defined as a bad actor, is flagged, is followed through, and we of course want to make sure that our environment is as safe as possible. So I'm going to hand it over to Sarah right now, and we're going to do another quick poll.
Yes, this is the last of the polls, so thank you, Victor.
Mm-hmm.
Give me one moment here. Okay, there you go. Okay, so the question is, how confident are you in your organization's ability to comply with evolving data privacy regulations? And we have a mixed bag here, with the majority saying that they're not very confident, but close second is a somewhat confident.
Okay.
And then we have a tie between neutral and extremely confident. There you go.
That's great.
Absolutely.
Well, hopefully after this this presentation, everyone's going to be very confident.
Exactly. All right. Thank you, Victor.
Perfect. Thanks. All right. So just a bit more insight as it is the age of AI. One of the great new features of Purview is Purview's ability to monitor AI usage within your environment and really provide insights into AI using included reports, Microsoft 365 Copilot, which of course everyone's using, I'm sure, and flag for unethical AI use. It highlights oversharing, improper data access, making monitoring easier and even more, giving you more ability to block data going into AI, whether it's sanctioned apps such as Microsoft Copilot or unsanctioned apps such as Anthropic Claude, Google Gemini, or even ChatGPT. So let's see what it looks like in production. The first thing you can see is that a company, Cotoso, has a project that's labeled in SharePoint, of course, our favorite project, Obsidian. And of course, the SharePoint site has several different documents related to Project Obsidian. Microsoft Purview has already done the information protection, allowing users to apply, of course, the default sensitivity label at the document library. And SharePoint, of course, has gone ahead and labeled it confidential internally as per our policies, which will allow us to automatically inherit the site labels. And of course, in this case, with Project Obsidian being labeled as confidential, assign the protective measures to that document to prevent any form of oversharing, or in this case, even using the contents of the document in AI. So as part of the labeling policy, you can see we've defined that users should have access, and those who have access to the documents are restricted based on the permissions defined in the label. So now since we've automatically labeled the document, and the user who's trying to access the document is not part of the Project Obsidian team and doesn't have rights to it, when she tries to get information, or he tries to get information from Project Obsidian, because they don't have the permission to read or edit, Copilot declines a response at all. And this is a very important point, because with the introduction of AI, we've seen a lot of companies that are utilizing their existing data set, which is fantastic because the AI is only as smart as the data you feed it. But the core point is we have so much data across our estate, and not all of it may be automatically applied the proper permissions. We've seen this at a lot of departments within accounting or leadership, where things may be shared and they're expecting people not to find it based on they don't know where it is. AI can parse that data in seconds, and if you don't have systems like this in place, this could become a huge loophole. Moving on. So we've pasted the sensitive content in a consumer AI such as ChatGPT, which is what we want to prevent. And we've set up the rules to ensure that Microsoft Purview could help and block and really enforce DLP policies and configure to prevent users from pasting sensitive information. And of course, when you don't have this in your environment, people are able to utilize, whether it's from their own work AI tools that they bring to work, or whether it's work AI tools that you provide, people are going to try and paste data into AI in order to get the result and save that time. So with Purview in place, we can set up the rules to block pasting into anything from browsers into AI tools. And the great part is that these native DLP controls are actually built into your OS already, as well as Edge. And of course, we also support Google Chrome. So with Microsoft Purview extensions, you can even extend that onto Safari and macOS. But more importantly, we're able to control the data state, the data flow, and exactly how everything is running through AI, into AI, and out of AI. So I'm going to show you a quick video right now of what happens when the user is going to try and paste data from Project Obsidian into AI, even though they have access to Project Obsidian. All right. So as you see, the the user is going to copy the data and try and paste it in. And the user is going to be met with an actual warning saying that Purview data loss prevention has actually blocked pasting the content into unprotected locations. Now, the great part is that on top of this warning, you're going to see the actions into the AI Hub. The AI Hub is really a brand new feature within Purview. Microsoft is one of the first companies to produce a product that is actually able to not only audit your internal use of AI using Copilot, but third-party use, which is great because as organizations adapt to AI, we need to ensure that proper classification, labeling, data repositories, and so forth are being tracked not only internally, but with external tools as well. And of course, AI Hub offers the actionable insights to identify exactly which files within SharePoint or your organizations may be referenced within Copilot or other AI tools. And this is really what empowers us to prioritize our critical data and target our actions to mitigate potential oversharing and data loss. So for instance, it allows us to see the total AI interfaces over time. Additionally, we can gain insights into non-compliant and unethical use of AI interactions, such as, of course, hate crime, discrimination, corporate sabotage, money laundering, and more. And we're able to see that in a plain and easy dashboard, where we can then later go ahead and dive into it. And it helps us really identify the types of sensitive information and prompts being provided in a detailed breakdown. And with that, we can assess our risk context and really help users engage with proper AI usage, which is really what we're trying to go for. With all the visibility and insights, we can really get started real quick into adopting a secure AI generative state for our organization, which helps our users work more effectively and, of course, safely. And with that, of course, AI Hub, we can right in our AI Hub, we can intuitively create and configure ready-to-use policies to protect data, prevent data loss from AI prompt responses in just a few clicks. The policies that we can generate out of the box can be based on violations which we have seen, or we have pre-templated policies which we can implement at an instance. All this is around ensuring that we are limiting our exposure to, of course, oversharing, data leakages, non-compliant use, and of course, all this integrates back with Purview solutions like DLP, being able to block not only into browsers, but even into AI tools itself. And of course, AI can always be controlled within Edge and Chrome when you deploy the tool set onto machines. So with that, we've seen that Purview enhances compliance and reporting for AI, with AI, and really the toolset can act on insights. It detects sharing sensitive informations, sharing in AI channels, allowing creating of one-click communication compliance policies, and really allowing you to run those Copilot interactions and other AI interactions safely. And will, of course, feed into our e-discovery and auditing tools, which is very important. Ensuring that in the coming age, AI isn't a blind spot for our compliance, and we can do so in a safe and controlled manner. So really, when we're talking about Purview and organizations and what we need to do, we should really start with strategies to adopt, ensuring that we have data compliance and data governance established over clear ownership, the governance structures in place. We have executive sponsorship, of course. And of course, we want to really get into data classification across our data estate. What does the data look like, where it's located, and that's where tools like Purview can really help. Implementing protective controls such as data sensitivity labeling, DLP, and of course, embedding governance into all our AI toolset and future projects, as well as any custom AI products you create yourself or your organization or for your customers would be embedded in this as well. And of course, with that part, we always want to continue the education for our employees, improve our policies. So it's not a one-time set and forget. It's a constant evolving process, which every company has to take part in. So what are really the benefits of getting it right? When you implement Purview, you offer substantial benefits. It's really future-proofing AI innovation, ensuring compliance with evolving regulations, trusted AI outcomes, and achieving high quality data, boosting confidence and adoption. Of course, with Purview, we're also ensuring that we're regulatory compliant. We reduce risks of data exfiltration, oversharing, which really strengthens the organization's reputation, effectively and enhancing a unified governance process, saving time and effort for the organization as a whole. So when we're talking about guidance on data governance on your journey, Cynthia offers expert guidance on implementing Microsoft Purview, data governance, and of course, we offer tools such as assessments, advisory services to evaluate environmental gaps, and of course, define the goals. We answer key questions created for tailored roadmaps to maximize your investment and align with your business strategies. One example is a lot of companies may already have these tools available. It's just a question of setting it up. When we come in, one of the first things we advise is just doing a license assessment. And with that, we can examine exactly what you have and what you have available and what you can turn up right now, as I like to call the low-hanging fruit, that we can enable you to get you maximum output with minimal amount of input. With that, of course, we also do end-to-end implementations and integrations. So we can identify the core components that you have, and assist you with implementing, or we can do the implementation and integration for you. And with our specialties, of course, we deploy Purview across organizations in various vectors and various industries. We help configure the data map scans. We help with the classification rules, the DLP policies, and we help integrate Purview with on-prem data sources, such as on-prem file servers, on-prem SharePoint, and even databases, as well as cloud resources such as Azure and various different data lake examples. And of course, once we've implemented and we've assisted with getting your company into the governance and compliance posture, one of the great things we can do as well is we can provide training programs to ensure that stakeholders understand exactly what are the best practices, how to properly use it once it's implemented. We can train your IT staff. We can train your compliance officers, security officers, data owners. And of course, we can help communicate policies for end-to-end users and foster that data awareness culture, really empowering your organization and teams to create a sustainable governance framework that will span across your entire digital estate, as well as your organization as a whole. And on top of that, Cynthia also offers ongoing support and optimization. We provide managed services, periodic health checks on Purview, and really help onboard new data sources and stay current with Purview features and functions, which we can, as they are released, assist you with onboarding and fine-tuning. So really when we're talking about not only data governance, compliance in your organization, but we're really talking to create a bond and a long-term trusted advisor role for your organizations. So why Cynthia? So here at Cynthia, we're more than just an IT provider. We consider ourselves partners in your success. Our expertise in Microsoft security, compliance stack, as well as other areas, combined with real-world insights, accelerate your progress. We simplify your journey into data governance, maturity, allowing you to focus on innovation and growth. Think of us as your co-pilot in implementing Purview and really anything on a technological side. So, looking at next steps, um, we offer support in exploring Purview, starting with consultation, doing those licenses assessments and checkups, understanding your objectives, doing readiness assessments and gap plans, as well as execute flexible engagement models, ensuring continuous support and fostering that creativity for your organization to really move into the era of AI, as well as be able to work more productively and have your employees work more productively, but more importantly, say in a safe manner. So to summarize, data governance and compliance is crucial in AI. Any company that wants to start utilizing AI will have to do this first. Microsoft Purview offers that comprehensive solution that will let you dive in as soon as possible with the least amount of pain, ensuring that, of course, we have a safe and ethical deployment of AI within the organization. And of course, we have a complete catalog of all our data, our protocols of sensitive information, and being able to monitor everything from how the data is moving across our estate, how the data is being used within the AI era of tool sets, and giving leaders and management peace of mind to do so in a safe manner. So we encourage you to really assess your data governance readiness, identify sensitive data locations, and ensure AI compliance is in mind, if not there right now. And we recommend you do so with Microsoft Purview. And of course, we're always more than happy to do so in a pilot project, for example, engage your IT teams, your partners, and really build that with Sentia, whether it's under our guidance or whether it's us doing it from end to end. We're here to help and we're here to assist you in any way possible. And we really want you to take any action to prevent any future issues, whether it's with us or you doing it yourself. So I'm going to open it up right now for questions and answers. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We've discussed the importance of governance and Purview features. And really now I want to get some insights into what everyone's thinking. And feel free to ask anything about what you've heard today when it comes to Purview, data governance, DLP, the new AI hub, specific scenarios, or anything else you may want to know. I'm going to open it up now. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Victor. That was
Yep.
excellent. We really appreciate the insightful, detailed information. And we do have a question, actually.
Perfect.
So going back to the your video about the protections around pasting info into third
Mhm.
parties. So when a user is blocked from pasting sensitive data into ChatGPT, is there anything that would prevent them from dismissing the warning and free typing the information into ChatGPT instead?
Yeah, so when when a user pastes it in, and the reason they do a block on paste is usually it's a large set of data. If the user's going to start free chatting or free typing it in, the block will happen on certain keywords. So for example, if it's Project Obsidian, uh, there will be a block on Project Obsidian being sent, and that will get raised. But if they're going to type out the entire document, obviously the document's not going to be blocked because there's a lot of words within that document that are not protected. So we can only protect keywords. So for example, Project Obsidian might be one, and so forth. But no, you can not prevent a user from typing out a whole document.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you, Victor.
Yeah.
Let's see. So that was the only question at the moment.
Oh
We
wow. Okay.
also we also we can unmute your mic if you'd like to pose a question verbally as well, if that's easier. So I just wanted to put that out there. And if not, I mean, we will be sending a recording of this entire session at the end, and absolutely, we will be following up to continue the conversation. So please definitely don't hesitate to ask if you have anything pressing that you'd like to share right now.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes, we've reserved 15 minutes for question and answers, so
We do have some time. So
anyone at all? Okay.
probably a lot of information overload. Oh, we've
Well,
got
perfect.
oh, we
Open.
have okay, so Mobin would like to speak. Okay, give me
Hmm.
one moment. Okay, I'm going to allow your mic. Mobin, go ahead. Oh, hold on.
Hi there. Hi, Victor.
Hey,
Hi.
how's it going?
Sarah. Yeah.
Hi
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. My question was basically the data residing in the system itself, like the AI itself. Uh, for example, if I create an environment where I have a certain project which has some
Hmm.
data, so the data which is residing inside, will that be also like I don't want that data to be disclosed to third party or any other, like even though not even Microsoft itself. So will it assure that whatever my data is there, it is encrypted and no one else have access to it? Like, is it the local learning by the AI, or will it be connected to internet by some mean, and that data might go outside for furthermore, discoveries about the project?
Now, are you talking about AI itself? So if your employees are using Copilot, for example, or are you talking about
Yeah.
blocking data?
I'm talking about
Okay, perfect.
basically, yeah.
Yeah. So, and this is one of the key factors that differentiates Copilot being an enterprise product versus other third-party AI products. When you get Copilot, Copilot actually spins up within your tenant. So you're getting a private instance of that AI. Now, what is in the industry, a lot of people say is Copilot is not as diverse in its answers as something like ChatGPT or Claude. And that's correct. And that is because you're getting an AI instance that's being used on your data. So it isn't pre-trained on anything from any other companies. And what it's really meant to do is use your internal data as its source, and it impersonates the user it's running under. So for example, when you have Copilot in your tenant, you have the core feature set of AI. Now, when you start assigning out Copilot licenses, let's say I get a license, that Copilot is going to assume my identity, meaning anything I have access to, it has access to. My emails, my Teams, my SharePoint sites, as well as any SharePoint sites I have access to, and OneDrive, of course. So yes, the data is always within your tenant. It never leaves your tenant, and it doesn't take outside information in. So you're never going to see other companies' information or so forth. Now, the system's intelligent enough to know when to use its data and when to use relative knowledge. Relative knowledge meaning, common sense knowledge, or uh, when it needs to do things that is at a basic level. And that comes from pre-coded
Hmm.
formations that tell it exactly how it's going to do the work and so forth. But all data is pre-scrubbed, pre-cleaned, and pre-qualified before the prompt goes in. So the flow of the prompt is, let's say myself as a user says, hey, what is the company current posture? How can we increase sales, revenue, so forth, while decreasing costs? That prompt is then going to go into Copilot. Copilot's engine is going to make sense of that using the LLM.
Mhm.
It's going to analyze what it needs to do and start creating multiple steps and data insights. And then it's going to go ahead and fetch data, whether it's within my mailbox, within my OneDrive, within my SharePoint, within Teams. Span all that data, gather all the relevant data, bring it into Copilot, and then it's going to cleanse everything, meaning it's going to look at and say, all right, so this data is falling under these DLP policies, and it'll scrub that out. And this data is good to use. It makes sense of it, puts it all together, and then it forwards that back to myself in a readable or in a document, for example.
Great, great. Just want to extend it a little bit more. Just need your
Mhm.
suggestion. If there is an
Yep.
AI network, so would you prefer Microsoft Purview to be implemented on those kind of situation, those kind of projects?
Yeah. So within an organization, if you have any of your data, then you would want to extend Purview onto that. Now, whether you're developing products for your customers or developing products internally, you always want to make sure that Purview is scanning those data sources, whether it be in Fabric, Azure AI, just so all your data sources are being properly um, properly cleansed, let's say.
Okay, so thank you, Victor. We have another question, just in the interest of time, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you, Mobin. David, please go ahead.
Oh, hi everyone. My name is David Cisneros. Now that you mentioned the sources, I want to ask, Purview, will it be able to connect to third parties such as Wasabi, Nasuni? They have file sharing services as well. Will that be possible to do, or we're talking about the data should only reside on Teams or SharePoint or on-prem SharePoint? So basically the Microsoft ecosystem.
Yeah, so Purview operates within the Microsoft ecosystem, meaning that you are able to scan anything within the Microsoft ecosystem within your O365 tenant and extending onto certain on-premise vectors such as file shares, file servers via an agent, databases within SQL, as well as SharePoint on-prem. When it comes to third-party services such as Wasabi, the question becomes how it's connected, right? Because if it's connected via the cloud, then no, there's no connector that'll go out and scan Wasabi shares or those third-party sources. What it can do is detect when data is being moved to those third-party sources. It can prevent that, but it cannot scan those areas.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And this is why we kind of say, the ecosystem, and as much as I hate to say it, when you have everything within the Office 365 ecosystem and the Azure ecosystem, the tool set can work properly and extend onto it. When you're mixing in third-party tools, that's when you kind of start to lose control. And this is even when we're implementing governance and compliance strategies right now, we keep all the data within SharePoint. So we no longer recommend emailing out files themselves. You will send out a link instead to either your OneDrive or your SharePoint. That way you retain the data control at all times. And if that user who you're sharing with externally shouldn't have access after a week or two, you cut that off and they no longer have the file.
So what about Azure Files? I believe that even now Microsoft have a partnership with NetApp to have Microsoft Azure NetApp Files or something like that. That's Microsoft ecosystem. Will that be okay?
Yes. So again, once it's within the Microsoft ecosystem, then we can parse it. But there's no third-party apps that we can load in to parse with Purview, right? So there isn't an agent I can deploy on Wasabi, for example, or the third-party storage apps that can extend Purview onto it. As long as Purview can see it, Purview can apply the securities and controls over it. But if it can't see it, and unfortunately we usually can't do that without agents, we can't extend it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you, David. And we've got another question from Alan. Alan, go ahead.
Yep.
Hi, David. I think originally you stated that with Copilot, it would assist us in kind of reducing resource needs, right? Kind of increase efficiency. I'm curious to know from your experience, what is the resource overhead generally like in terms of managing Copilot? Because like Microsoft XDR or Sentinel, right, these SIEM systems, like you still need someone to actively monitor it for irregularities and stuff like that. So just curious to know from your experience what kind of resource overhead we would actually need in place to keep the system running smoothly.
Yep. So first and foremost, Microsoft keeps making it easier and better for organizations. So when you get Copilot, you're actually going to get SharePoint advanced features, which will help you with your data estate and help you really to categorize and secure that data within SharePoint, because SharePoint is probably going to be your number one vector of data that it's going to pull from. Now, with that, it's not only with the introduction of Copilot and AI. All organizations should be adopting more and more of governance and compliance framework. So really, with that being in mind, Copilot just adds to it. It's just another vector that you're going to have to view and take care of. It shouldn't add too much overhead. It should more integrate with your existing plan for governance and compliance. Now, as long as you have your policies fine-tuned, your governance in place, your data lifecycle, your DLP, it should be relatively easy because you're depending on the technology to do all the heavy lifting, and you only need someone who's already doing this role to just add on and take a look and see, hey, is there any extra data exfiltration going through AI? Does that help?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, Sarah, I saw you
Great.
have your hand up.
Oh, no, I think we're good at the moment. Are there any other
Okay.
questions before we wrap up? Okay, I think we're good, but that was great. No,
Perfect.
thank you to everybody that that posed their questions. And yes, we will be sending out a recording after today's session. Once again, Victor, thank you so much on behalf of all of us. It was a great session, and
My
we look
pleasure.
forward to furthering the conversation afterwards. And thank you all for joining. We really appreciate you taking the time.
Yes. Thank you,
Have a
everyone.
great yes, have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.